Alright guys, we're back again. This time it's a Sunday morning. A couple more inches of snow since the last video. Today we're out getting re-familiarized with my snowshoes. I haven't had them on since last season. So today we're going to get out here and do a little hiking. Stop and have some coffee. And just have a great day in general. Might start a warm-up fire. Only drawback today, you'll see the garb I'm wearing. I'm wearing nylon. Well, the garb you normally see me on a bushcraft, and this is my wool. That just means I'm going to have to be a little more cautious whenever I'm near a fire for sparks flying back, burning holes in my clothes. So the reason I'm wearing this stuff today is, one, I wanted to see some comparison between the thinner stuff I have for modern backpacking is compared to the wool stuff and the bulkier stuff. So, well, I'm going to get myself along the trail here, and I'll be back with you folks after a bit. I just came up this hill and I tried out my televators, if you want to. I think that's what the proper name of those bars are that comes up behind your heel to help you climb hills without fatigue. So, beautiful wintry day. Got a set of pines here to my left. We're going to start journeying over to them and look around, and we're not going to spend all day out here today, just for a little while. So, just like I said, getting re-familiarized with my shoes. I think I might need to adjust the cant a little bit on these axes. It feels like I'm walking like a duck a little bit, so we'll fix that. So, good enough. Guys, I don't know what all you saw. My camera, for some reason, is not recognizing my HD card again. My new HD card. I had it, I've used it, had no problems. Now it's saying it's not able to write to that speed or some sort of crap. So I'll have to, if I need to edit or something. So you might not saw part of this, but you'll get the gist of how I set up the table and that. Before I get any further, for all you fellow Pennsylvanians and alumni of Penn State, I want to send out my condolences and sympathy to those that were part of the Joe Paterno age. I'm not a big football fan by far, but the man, I will not take away the accomplishments he's had. There's been a lot of drama going on right now with some of the stuff with one of his old coaches, but we'll not get into that today. Let's just remember the gentleman and be there with his family and his thoughts. And I know a lot of people related to him as Joe Pa. I know a couple people I work with went to Penn State, so that's how they acknowledge the gentleman. So, coffee to a boil. I mentioned the other day. Alright. I adjusted my settings on the camera, guys. Hopefully this will keep us from having it going on and off, or it might just be the cold, who knows. I think it's like 20 degrees out. I think I might even have the fire. That's saying 40, so I'm also having it in direct sunlight, so I apologize. I'll have some stuff that's going to be cut out and I'll have to paste together here. And pretty sure my GSI kettle would function on top of my Big Breeze 2.0. I'll have to check with Rich to make sure on that, but I'm pretty sure it would. So I'm going to go back here and check this camera again, folks. Bear with me. Alright, we're still good. I don't understand why it's doing that, but it is, needless to say. Last time I did it, I went up from I think it was a 2 to a 6-speed not SD card, which is rated for HD, which this camera is capable of doing. And I've shot several videos now. I'll have to reformat it, see if that helps, but I kind of doubt it. I had 2s in there before and it was shooting HD and did the same dang thing. So get some food in me. In case it got cut out, I don't want the same thing happen to me today that happened to me when I was with Dave last weekend. I'm sure it's off. Right now I'm on what appears to be an old tram road of sort, now a deer trail. Some tracks running up through here. I'll just follow this out to my vehicle when I go and leave here in a little bit. I said this isn't going to be an all-day event, just wanted to get out and see what adjustments I need to make to my shoes. I'll even mess with them a little bit before I leave and turn the axis, that's why they're called MSR axis, to make your feet more in line with the shoe so you're not duck foot or pigeon toe, whatever you want to call it. So today I would have an advantage getting a fire going. A lot of good dry pine. It's been in the view of the sun most of the day, like the other day. Stuff wasn't getting a chance to dry out and had a hell of a time. I have my axe with me just in case, and I have my emergency blanket and my jerky. So that's my food. I am in cell phone coverage where I'm at. Got my whistle. So in case something would happen to me per se, I wouldn't be in a survival situation for very long. So I'd at least hold myself until somebody can come and get me. Make sure I don't forget that, because I'm good at leaving stuff if I don't pay attention. Now, since somebody did mention a new viewer from, I think he's from the Netherlands, if that's where he's from. I don't know if he's a troll or just the way he asked it, and he may have not very well meant it. But I know when he watched my last video with the starting the fire, he said that the conditions looked perfect for him for starting the fire. And I asked him, well, show us a video and show us some tips. He said, hey, I'm no expert. I've always said that along. What I did say, though, I didn't think that the wood I choose was the best. I had a hell of a time splitting it, feather sticking it, and getting shavings was pretty bad. I will admit I did not do enough shavings. I should have done more shavings, but I was having difficulty getting that wood to shave properly, so I said hell with it. Not all the time you're going to run into the most perfect and pristine woods to use for starting a fire. You might have some old scrub oak like through in here, some crab apples. I do have luckily some pine here that's got some good resin in that. But back to our trip last weekend with Dave, we had pine all around us and low branches like you're typically supposed to be able to go and snap and they'll be good to go. Well, like I said, it rained for several days leading up to that, so everything that was wet, including underneath there, it rained enough that it got down through to the smaller branches and the wind blowing it on, etc. It went from wet straight to Arctic temperatures, froze everything clean through the stick, and it was damp. As soon as you put it on the fire, it just started thawing out and just putting the fire out. So always got to have some sort of assist it with you materials. While we're sitting, make this video a little bit interesting. We have our cotton ball like I've mentioned before. I got some fat wood. Here I have some of the cotton discs I soaked in candle wax. You really got to mess. Next time when I do these, I'm going to dunk half of them or 3/4 of them in wax and leave an end that's not coated with wax, because it soaks, perforates this stuff so well that there's nothing really to fluff up to get with a spark. Flint and steel kit. And I would not necessarily say this would be a good assistant, but to get your flint and steel, of course, char cloth. I know Dave was damned and determined to get the fire going up north. He was actually putting heat on it from his alcohol stove. Well, while we're doing a little show and tell here, reach in here and get something, since we're in that type of year when the weather gets crappy. This is my navigation equipment. With the exception of the map, I gotta get a map for this area, but I know it well enough that, but I like to get just so I can practice. Something I picked up the other day because it rains in Pennsylvania and it snows in Pennsylvania, and anymore it's been doing a little bit of each every week. It's going to be in the 40s today. Most of this stuff's going to start melting down. Then tomorrow we're going to have rain, so we're going to have interesting weather for February. I'm hoping that we have snow though. But needless to say, I bought myself a all-weather rain notebook, Write in the Rain, and a Write in the Rain cold temps pen. This will work in minus temperatures, above boiling point temperatures, and this is Write in the Rain paper. So if I want to take notes, write down what my azimuth my bearing is in the morning when I'm heading out. If I'm going into unfamiliar territory, I can write that down. If I need to send a note with somebody, say, hey, go get help, this is what we're going to need. I'm maintaining the patient until they get back. We don't have cell phone coverage, something like that. That's what I have here. Something I'll be getting new in the future here, hopefully, and I'll be able to do a little bit of a video on it. If you haven't seen it already, my good friend Michael, better known as Raholle, R-A-H-O-L-L-E, he's from Hammock Form. He also likes to do bushcraft, and he's buddies with Steinsy, and he's the one that gave me this great Linville Gorge rat sticker on my cup, and I got a patch too. I'll someday stitch on one of my packs, but I'm waiting until I actually get down to the gorge before I do that. So, but he has one of those ACR PLBs. It's not the SAR link, it's the Rescue link. It's something similar to Spot device, but it's going to work. It's got an external antenna. You hit the button. I can still hit a test message, send an OK message, sort of. What you do is you get so many OKs on it. You don't have to pay a yearly fee. It's a one-time fee. It's $40. I can test it from my unit, hit the test button. It'll send a message that it worked. I can either send it to my cell phone, but I want to know that my wife knows I'm okay. It'll go to her cell phone or email that, hey, I just did a test. Jim's okay. So that'll be something I'll be getting next, and that'll be just in case. Guys, I'm only human. I could very easily, well, I don't want to say that. It's all possible. I could fall, break a leg, break my back, have a major heart attack. I cannot do self-rescue. That way I can hit that button. I am assured that I'm going to have rescue to me or my group if I'm with a group of people. So I'm hoping to have it by the February hang. We'll see what happens. So, but well, that's enough of me blabbing, guys. I'll shoot a little bit of video on the way out, maybe just as I'm walking, but we're going to try and keep this thing short. I apologize once again for the endings and startups and everything of these crazy videos. Like I said, I'm having issues with the SD card, but oh well, it happens. It may just be the temperature. So alrighty, we'll check back in with you after a bit. Give you an idea of the terrain we're just trotting through. We're just on top. We're on this little bench here on this ridge, and looks like I said an old tram road possibly. And then there's a lot of pines here, so be a good place to get valves and that, and do a shelter if you had to. Like I said, I'm close enough to home. I wouldn't have to get that carried away. So, well, we're going to put the camera away, folks, and watch ourselves getting out of here. And like I always say, I want to thank you again for watching the Pawoodsman channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. And most of all, God bless. Here's a rarity. Some tinder you want to grab. Well, you can if you're walking back in and you know you're going to need to have a fire. I don't have my satchel with me. I normally store stuff in. I'm going to start bringing it because, like I said, this time of year, finding this type of resources can be nil. So you want to have some with you, give you that extra edge of getting that fire going. So we're just about to our vehicle now, folks.